This is John Beath with Let's Talk Outdoors Weekly Fish Recipe. On today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to do a Zip Vac salmon rub. So what is a Zip Vac? Let me show you what a Zip Vac is. This is a Zip Vac, and I absolutely love it because it's a home vacuum sealing type system. Has a handheld unit. See, it has a rechargeable plug, makes it very easy. And if you're not where you have a plug in, you can use this cool little hand pump. Super simple, you can use this in the field. So let me show you how to make Zip Vac salmon rub. The first ingredient I'm going to use for my rub is the dark brown sugar. This dark brown sugar is just basic Safeway sugar. And I'm going to start off with about 4 tablespoons. I don't need too much because my piece of salmon is not that big. So that ought to be good. Here's my piece of salmon. It's just a small piece of salmon, big enough for 2 people. And that's what I'm going to put my rub on. Next ingredient is the garlic. I like lots of garlic. Get that in there. And I like to have a little bit of chili powder. So I'm going to use your basic mild chili powder. Gives a little bit of zip to it. And I'm trying to create a nice flavor profile that has the sweetness but a little bit of herbal strength to it. And here we've got some lavender pepper from Olympic Lavender Farm on the Olympic Peninsula. olympiclavender.com. This is pretty potent. You don't want too much. That's about all you want. Otherwise it'll be much too strong for you. The next item is the crushed rosemary. And I like rosemary, so I'm going to get quite a bit on there. And Mrs. Dash. I can't help it. I love Mrs. Dash. Lots of great stuff in Mrs. Dash. Stir this all up. Now I've got a pretty decent rub, and the brown sugar is the main ingredient, and that's what's going to cover that salmon. Let's set this aside and get some fresh garlic. And the way to do the garlic is really simple. You get a big flat-bladed knife, you crush, and then you simply peel the garlic peel away. That simple. Now hold the knife like this, and you can really chop this thing up quick. And that gives me some good fresh garlic. I can add this to my rub. Ooh, that smells good. Fresh garlic just can't be beat. Mix that in. And I want to have a little bit of zest from the lemon. So I'm just going to peel some off. Just scrape away with a knife to get that zest. I can also get some zest from a lime. Ooh, that smells so good. So a little lime zest, a little lemon zest, mix that in, and that's my rub. Let me show you how we're going to rub down this salmon. First of all, I have a frozen piece of vacuum packed salmon, and I'm going to open this up. Now the reason I'm using frozen salmon is because when you put the rub on here, when it's frozen, it's going to absorb the rub much easier. So it's going to take about 8 hours for this rub to really permeate inside of this flesh. So I'm just going to put it on here, start rubbing it in real thick, and as it thaws, it's going to really pull it inside the flesh and give it a really, really rich flavor profile. Just rub that all down, get as much on there as I can. Okay, now here's the cool part. This is where the Zip Vac comes into play. With a Zip Vac bag, it has this little valve, and if I open up that valve, then I can apply my Zip Vac unit, either the electric pump or the hand pump, and then you can close it and you're completely sealed. I'm going to put that in here. Seal the bag up tight. Now watch what happens. Seal that up. Now I vacuum pack this, and that rub is going to permeate into that salmon as it thaws out. This is a great way to have a rub on any kind of fish with the Zip Vac method. And then when I go to unseal it, I can open up the valve, open up the Ziploc. This Zip Vac is absolutely awesome. Now check out what's happening here. Because the salmon was frozen and it has a little moisture, it's starting to get the brown sugar wet, and you can see it change right here. In about eight hours or so, when this thaws out, it's going to be just right, and I'll take it out of the bag and show you what to do with it and how we're going to cook it at that time. Well, it looks like my salmon's ready. I let it thaw out in the refrigerator for 8 hours. Now if you're in a hurry, you can definitely get it much quicker than this, but I like to have it in the refrigerator where it's kept cool as it thaws for about 8 hours so that that flavor really permeates the meat. Now here's how you open it up. Twist that, lets out the pressure, and now I can open this up. Now I'm going to cook this on a standard cookie sheet with foil. And I'm just going to pour this out. And a lot of that is going to stay in the bag, and that's fine because I don't want it as thick on there as I put it on there. So remember the lime. Now I'm going to give it a little bit of lime juice. Just add a little bit of zing to it. That's going to give it some extra flavor here. Now I'll cut a little bit of the lemon. This is going to be wonderful. Notice how a lot of the brown sugar is gone, leaving just the spices. I can see the rosemary, I can see some of the nice lavender pepper, and of course your garlic pieces there. So now let's cook this approximately 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Well, my salmon was in the oven for about 8 minutes, and it looks like it's cooked perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and leave the skin and just take half of the fillet and put it on the plate. Now I lost part of it. I'll try and salvage here. But it really is cooked well. See, it's not overcooked. Has a delicious smell to it. And this is my final dish. What I've done here is I've made a nice little Asian salad. I've got some mixed greens, some of the noodles here. I have some craisins and a little bit of rice vinegar. That'll blend really well with this rub here. I also have some asparagus, and I put sesame over the top. So this is my Zip Vac salmon rub. Bon appetit. I'll see you next week. If you have any ideas of ingredients for me to use on my weekly cooking recipe, just give me an email at this email address here. For Let's Talk Outdoors and the weekly fish recipe, my name is John B.